Okay, we're going to do the solution to your homework. So the first object I gave you to draw an orthographic was this little thing here. Obviously you're looking on the computer doing it. So when I said orthographic, that meant my little dot was down here, which meant my front elevation is coming from this direction. My plan down top, left hand elevation, and a right hand elevation from this direction here. First thing you should have done was to put a ground line in. I said you could use a straight edge to do that. So my ground line goes in as such. Okay, the rest of it can be drawn with a ruler, straight edge. It's all about proportion. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write the word up, front elevation. You need to label everything. So do remember to do that. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the proportions here. I'm going to put the length and I'm going to put the height of the object in. So I'm going to start off with the length and the height. So I'm going to put the height in this side here. So I'm just going to do this lightly just now. It's a little bit darker than what you should be doing, because I've got a slightly darker pencil on it so you can see what's happening. So if this object had nothing removed from it, it would just look like a rectangle like that. What you then should have done was, following my video, pick yourself a starting spot if you're not sure of how to look at the view and pick out the actual front elevation itself. Start from here, so up, along, left, angled down and across, and again proportion. So go up, along about a third. It's going to come down at an angle now, and then it's going to go back along to the end here. So I'm going to darken it in now. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. And that's my front elevation. Just picking out this shape here. If it helps you, shade, colour pencils. You're looking at it on a computer, you can use colours on it, you can use anything to help you actually generate this. Okay, so it's up to you how you actually do that as well. Next thing, I'm going to draw in the plan. Put the word plan in. Do some construction lines. Construction lines are nice light lines. So these should go up. These should go up. And I'm going to put in the common thing between the front elevation and the plan, which is the length of the object. The plan shows us the width, front to back. So again, estimate, front to the back, and then across here. So that's the actual outline of the object. Looking down on top of it though, I can see here, I've got this surface here, and I've got this surface here. And because this is on a slope, I will also see this surface here. So there's three surfaces. 1, 2, 3. So the first surface, working from the edge here, here's the outside edge of the object, come along, here's the edge here. Right, okay, so I'm looking down on top of that, it's an edge. I will see that physical edge. That's running from front to back. Move along. Where's the next edge I see? Well, it's this one in here. So again, looking down, I'll see that. So if I move along here, here's the next edge here. And again, it goes from the front to the back of the object. So again, using construction lines to go up. So you notice when we do the plan, when I look down on top of a slope, I actually just see a rectangular shape. I don't see the slope itself because I'm viewing it at 90 degrees straight above it. I just won't see that. Again, that is the correct solution. And I'll just line in and darken my lines off. End elevations, similar fashion. Let's go to the right hand side here. I'm going to transfer the height across. I'm quite confident of my width. I'm going to use just a little transfer method. So you can use a bounce line if you wish. I saw some of you use that. That was good. So there's the width of my object. So the width is here, transferred from the plan. The height is transferred from the front elevation going across the way. So I know that's the top of the object. And when I look in this direction here, that is all I physically see, is just a big rectangle. Then we think about what we can't see. We've got this hidden edge in here. I can't see it, so it must be, I still have to show it, so I need to use hidden detail. So again, transfer across. And start and finish on hidden detail. And then fill in between with your hidden detail line. Again, you'll notice I can't see the slope. It doesn't show us anything other than a rectangle because of the viewing angle. The only time I'll see it as a slope is when I'm looking in this direction here, when I'm looking at 90 degrees to the front of the object. Opposite elevation, same thing. Okay, so I'm going to use my width. You'll take a bit more care in transferring. So I know, looking in this direction here. So I'm now looking here. So I'll see this surface here. And I'll see this one here, which I saw on the plan. It's this surface here, which I saw on the plan. It's this surface here. So I will see that. So again, we're using our little analogy here. Here's the bottom edge looking up. Here's the next edge here. Look, it's the same actual height as this one, isn't it? This one was hidden because I couldn't see it. This time I can see it. So it gets a solid line. There's the solid line. Where's the next edge? It's all the way up here. There it's there. And again, you see the slope just appears as a rectangle. And again, label. Sorry, right hand. Elevation. Effectively, that was your solution. So that was the solution to the first one. I think I've got a spare paper on the back of that, so we'll do the next one. So the next one was just a simple block. You see, I'm trying to use my paper up. I'm even using up my scraggy paper. So I gave you a block, a square, which had a hole cut through it on the top. And the thing to do is, I had some information down here which says that the depth of the hole went down 5 millimeters. Okay, so it goes partly into the object. That's always looking for the interpretation that it goes partly into the object. So there's our little sketch of the object, square. And again, to be fair, because it's square, it's symmetrical, doesn't matter where I put the dot here, I'll probably see the same. So again, same thing, ground line, label. Okay, and then it's just proportion. So again, I'm going to do my heights first. So the height and the width now need to be the same. So this distance and this distance should be the same. Again, you'll spend a wee bit more time. I'm just doing it quickly so you can get your solution. When I look in this direction here, my front elevation, that's all I see at the moment. I don't see anything else. I don't see the hole. Let's come back to the hole in a wee second. Construction. Plan. Plan. Looking down on top of it, I will see the outside of this square here. And I'll see the square that I have here as well. So I'm now putting in my square. So there's the outer square which I see. And then the inside square, and again because I'm looking straight down top I don't see any edges. There is a square. Okay, end elevations. What will I see when I'm looking from this direction? Is the same as looking this direction. Let's just get the square in first. We'll come back to the hidden detail in a wee second. Right hand, elevation. Same again, left hand, transfer the height across. It's important that you use the transfer method. Transfer heights will guarantee things being correct. Okay, so there we go. And again, and label, left hand, elevation. So I said we hadn't put the hidden detail in, so let's think about what happens with the hole. I said the hole didn't go all the way in there. It only goes part of the way down. So if I could see inside that, it's only going to go maybe to about here, halfway. So again, this time I'm going to transfer from the plan down the way. So I'm transferring construction lines. So the hole goes in. I can't see it, but I know it's there, so it's going to go down about halfway. And again, look, I'm starting on a dash. When I get to the bottom of the dash here, this is how far down it goes. I'm going to put in so that my two dashes make a little right angle. And there's a single dash to finish it. That shows me that that hole goes part of the way into the object. So now, same thinking, construction to both the end elevations, because these are identical. Each one of these is exactly the same. So again, this distance here is transferred across to here. And you should transfer that using your eye, your finger, or you can use bounce lines.